So we have Node.js on the first position with 40% of the developers. This is a surprise for me. You know, this is a surprise because it tells me that 40% of the developers today are building backends with Node. Do you guys think this is actually reality these days? 40% is a big number, you know? There is a lot of Node.js backends, but 40% it would surprise me. You know what I mean? A lot of the backend today is still built with frameworks or languages like PHP, Ruby, you know, a lot of Ruby out there. So this number is actually a surprise. Greg is saying that I think JavaScript ecosystem is more vocal, and because of that, this number is so high in comparison with other languages and frameworks. Definitely they are more vocal, and they do kind of, you know, participate a little bit more in this kind of surveys. Yeah, React it's just he won the battle, you know what I mean? A lot of people use React, and I love React, and I think people are like, you know, React won basically the front-end battle of the frameworks, and I think it will be there for the next decade, you know what I mean? Then we have Next.js. It is incredible what Vercel and Next.js have done on the last 5 years. On that, we need to agree on, you know. Next.js is undeniably growing fast. So props to Vercel and to the Next.js community, because undeniably they have done a good job, you know. A lot of people tend to compare frameworks like Express.js or Flask to something like Laravel, and it's uncomparable, you know what I mean? Because when you are using something like Laravel today, you have many things that do not exist on this traditional routing frameworks. If I search for if I go, for example, to Laravel.cloud, Laravel website, you will see that, you know, when using something like Laravel, you have authentication, authorization, eloquent ORMs, you have database migrations, validations, email, file storage, queues, task scheduling, testing, WebSockets. In all of these drivers, all of these features, they are literally, or they are supported by different drivers. So you can use, for example, databases using MySQL or Postgres or SQLite, you know. You can use mailing with different drivers out there like Resend and more. You can use file storage with S3 and more. So all of that is truly native supported by Laravel. On top of that, you have this entire beast of technologies right in your fingertips. You know what I mean? Like Cashier for integration with Stripe and Paddle. You have things like Artisan to have this Redis integration in your queues. You have Nova for an admin panel. You have things like Sail for the integrated Docker experience. You have Socialite to have literally easy logins with things like Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, LinkedIn, and more. You have Telescope to literally have debugging of your HTTP requests and queries. You have, I mean, there is so many stuff here. Sanctum for APIs. So when you look at something like Laravel, which is a batteries included framework, a one-man SaaS building framework, when you compare something like this to some of the frameworks here, which it's literally incomparable. You know, it's like comparing apples with oranges. It's not the same beast, basically. Okay? And I apologize if there is people out there who feel offended about this, but it's just the reality. You know what I mean? It's just the reality. When you use something like Express.js, which is, you know, I understand is an amazing framework, as amazing routing framework, but all the other things, like all the other things that typically are necessary to build a full modern web application in 2025, you literally have to either include libraries or just build that yourself. So, that being said, Laravel is a very strong framework. And of course, I didn't even mention the entire ecosystem around Laravel with things like Filament PHP, which, in my opinion, one of the next WordPress replacements out there. Ismail Dev is saying, what is Symfony? That's a very good question. It's on this list with 3.2%. Symfony is very popular on countries like France and Germany, you know. But when you go for United States, for example, Laravel is more popular. Wow, V2 with still 0.9%. This, by the way, this framework right here was one of my first frameworks when I was starting developing E2, this one. What is WordPress, by the way? Okay, this is like literally not reality. WordPress is like way higher than this. It's just crazy. It is crazy. Kelly G is saying, what will replace WordPress? Well, in numbers, it won't replace WordPress, but I think it is a great replacement of WordPress. Filament PHP, check that out, okay? Someone is saying Livewire. Livewire? What do you mean? Do you see Livewire on this list? I don't, no. I have heard very good things about Statimic, by the way. I need to try. Do you guys, that is still like code when you are doing Statimic, or is purely UI? Because I would be keen to try Statimic once, you know what I mean? On a live stream. Maybe we can have someone from Statimic here. CodeIgniter, I have used CodeIgniter back in the days. So basically my progression on the PHP world was CodeIgniter 2, CodeIgniter 2. We are talking back in the days when Bootstrap 2 was out. You know, this is back in the days. And then I migrated to He 2, which already had like namespacing. It was kind of more modern. And then I migrated to Laravel. And I've been on Laravel since then.